Hey guys, some of you might remember this big room out the back of the old farmhouse here. So a bit of a tidying mission for the unskilled labourer today. Rainy day, as you can see. This room stays nice and dry in the rain. They're pouring down outside. The mud walls in these old farmhouses make the inside stay really dry. When it's really humid and wet outside, the mud walls sort of absorb the moisture a bit and you get left with a really low humidity room, which is really nice when it's 80% humidity outside. So today's mission for the unskilled labourer is we need some space on that shelf, and most of that stuff was put up there about 15 years ago or 14 years ago when we first tidied the place up. All that old stuff just got put up there. So time to sort it out, maybe throw some of it away and just make a bit more space up on the shelf so we can use it for some other things. So you can see why we kept a lot of this stuff. That's some sort of sake pot type thing. Would have had some sort of cork or wooden stopper in the top. So when we tidied the place up, we threw about 10 tonne of stuff away, but some of the stuff, that's for catching octopus. You tie a rope around the neck of it and drop it in the ocean, and apparently octopus like to go inside pots like that. When you pull it up, there's an octopus in there. Apparently. This is a more recent addition. This is for doing summer noodle thing that we do. We put this long gutter up on these stands and you run water down it and drop noodles into it and then collect the noodles at the other end. Sounds very strange. We did a video about it once before, showed you guys that one. Oh, these cups on a stick. People use them for watering plants, all sorts of things. You often see them at graveyards because they use them for watering the flowers and washing the graveyard and things like that. So you're ladling water out of a bucket. I think they used to use them in the bathroom as well when they had a bath to wash themselves. That's scales. That's a scale for measuring stuff. So it's got measuring lines on it. And they'd hang it up and they'd put whatever it is that they were weighing on the hook, and then they'd slide the weights to whatever point it was to make it balanced, and then that would tell them by the marks on the stick what the weight was. All in the old measurements too. The unskilled labourer is really old, but not that old to know those measurements. So you see how it works? So don't know what the old man used to weigh, probably bags of rice or something, using that. And there's a mini version, same principle, mini version. And there's one of the weights. So who knows how old this stuff is, and generations of people have been storing stuff in the old house, of course, so who knows how old some of this stuff is. You don't know what that is. It looks pretty nasty, doesn't it? For murdering people, I don't know, some sort of ninja tool. Obviously, it's some legitimate reason to be stabbing something with that extremely pointy thing. Look at that. How nasty is that? No idea what they are. The pins of mystery. No, what this is. This basket is for separating the rice from the husk. So you put some rice in it and then flick it up and down, and the husk will blow away in the wind and the rice will land back in the basket. So you keep doing that and slowly the husk will disappear and you end up with some rice grains and no husk. And there's another version of the same thing. So they can do the same thing with that too. So put the rice in there, toss it up and down, the husk blows away in the wind. Need wind for that exercise, of course. Husk blows away in the wind and the rice lands back in the basket. And then you pour it from the basket into some big bucket or something. Some more weights. Belongs to one of those scales. Don't know what this is. Could be a rolling pin or something. It's very, very smooth. It's got writing on either end of it. Very smooth. So could be for rolling something. Beating something. No idea. Just old. An old piece of solid wood. So hard to throw some of these things away. That's just a piece of wood, isn't it? But as is this. So a lid of a bucket, wooden bucket. So we actually had a taller version of that was pretty nice, that the unskilled labourer stained, and it's now in the Genkan, it's now in the entrance, and we use it for putting umbrellas in. So it's about 3 times higher than that. Similar sort of design. So that wood's all just put together there with that wire holding it in. No nails. Oh, that's for pounding rice and making mochi. So you use a big stone bowl, which we actually have out in the garden. Some of you guys would have seen all these things. The big stone bowl out in the garden, and you put the rice in there and some hot water, and you pound it with this hammer. Really heavy, really heavy. And that pounds the rice down and it just turns it into mochi, makes it all sort of chewy. People still do that at festivals. Often they'll still do that, have the big stone bowl with the rice in it and give it a pounding. Old style wood plane. They must have been clever to make those things work well. Just the blades just held in place with a little wooden pin, little wooden chock, and they just sort of tap it to get it to the depth they want. That's a not so old clock. That's a big one. Looks like it would have been used as a wash bucket or something for washing clothes. Who knows? Huge though. Could be for washing clothes, couldn't it? And again, no nails. We actually showed you a video a long time ago of a guy actually making buckets like that by hand with a plane and just shaping the wood, putting it together, and then they either put a wire around it or they put a bamboo band. So these ones, you can see that one there up on the shelf. It's sort of got a plaited band around it to hold it together. Oh, these are for steaming rice, so they can stack them up 3, 4 high, and they put the rice in little sort of bags inside the bucket, and the steam comes through and cooks the rice, steams the rice. That's just a normal bucket. Don't know what they use that one for. That's not for steaming rice. Don't know what this thing is. It's too delicate and too decorative to be practical, to have a practical reason. It might just be some decorative thing, possibly. It sort of looks like the sort of thing that they use to draw buckets out of wells. We've seen big versions of that hanging over wells, like big serious versions, big practical versions. Fishing net, random fishing net for no particular reason. Just a big wooden box. Just interesting because it's old and it's got some writing in it. Who knows how old that box is? It's a mystery, isn't it? So this is some of the stuff we ended up with. So some of it we're going to keep because we might be able to do something with it later, or because it's nostalgic. Some of you might remember some of this stuff too. We used to sell this stuff on eBay, and then sending stuff internationally just became too difficult, so we sort of gave up on that. But we've still got all this stuff. All the things that you've seen so far, including that clock, were all here when we got moved into the house. So some of you who saw those videos 14 years ago, we had 10 tonne is what we took away to be recycled, and then loads of stuff that we had left here that was just stored up. This big room was actually full of stuff, big piles of stuff. Those of you who haven't seen those videos, Buying a House in Japan playlist, the earliest videos on there, you'll see this room was full of stuff. So slowly we've sorted it out. So it was an interesting day, and the rain kept coming down. More videos coming soon.